Looking towards here, we have our sunset. I don't know if my mic was on, but welcome to everybody. I hope you're having a good week. This is the last week of August. We're here, of course, talking about the supermoon. The supermoon is a blue supermoon too, to boot, is making a lot of buzz in the news. You've probably got it on your timeline, on your social media. We'll talk a little bit about that and what else you can see in the night sky this week. I hope you're having a good week. Make sure you let us know where you're watching from. I'd love to hear that. Just pop it into the comment section. We've got our skies set up here for August 29th. Tuesday is what we're having. Just after the darkness begins to fall, you see where the moon is. It's a near full moon. We'll have officially the full moon tomorrow, Wednesday, August 30th, but it's a waxing gibbous moon officially as of Tuesday today, August 29th. And what you'll see looking towards the south is what you're looking at here is the moon heading close to a brilliant planet. So after darkness falls tonight, if you're watching this live, if maybe perhaps it is already dark, if you go outside and look for that moon, you'll see that it is traveling very close to being followed by a yellowish orange colored star. That, in fact, is not a star. It is one of our neighboring worlds called Saturn. And it's a beauty. If you have a telescope, this is the planet that you want to see through a telescope. There's no doubt about it. You can see those iconic rings. Just imagine those iconic rings stretch out about 180,000 kilometers across, and they're only about 5 kilometers thick at its thickest point, these beautiful rings. Right there, you can see where the Saturn is compared to the moon. We'll zoom up a little bit. So it's really easy to find, by the way, Saturn, if you've never seen it before, because of the moon tonight. And in fact, tomorrow night too, it'll be even closer, popping onto the other side of Saturn. If you've never seen Saturn before, use the moon as a guidepost. It's just a wonderful object to learn the sky. It's something fall. Oh, Paul's chiming in watching from Guelph. Nice of you to join us, Guelph. Fellow Canuck watching. Wonderful. Saturn. So there's Saturn next to the moon. This is again tonight. But watch what happens if we move it to Wednesday, August 30th. This is the night of the full moon, and look, it'll be next just below Saturn. Again, looking towards the southeastern portion of the sky. The moon will be rising tomorrow as a full moon. So on August 30th, as you see here, depicted right here, this is where you'll be able to look and see this pairing, which is really going to be amazing. And the moon is going to be full. And it's not just any old full moon. This is called a blue full moon. Why is this a blue moon? Because according to folklore, this is the second full moon of the month. If you have 2 full moons in 1 month, because it takes just about a month for the moon to cycle through its phases, right, to orbit the Earth, it will actually you can have a second full moon in the same month. So we had one on August 2nd. If you remember, this is the second one, right? On August 30th is the second full moon of August, and therefore it's called a blue moon. Now, it's not going to look blue. Don't look for the color. It can happen, by the way. The full moon can actually look blue sometimes. It's very rare. It's usually because of smoke particles or volcanic ash in the upper atmosphere. With all the forest fires that are happening in North America and Canada, there is a chance that you may see the full moon late at night in the overnight period. Once the moon is high up in the southern sky, it may actually look blue if there is enough smoke particles there, happens to be in your local area. You might actually see the blue moon, according to folklore, actually look blue. But it is very rare. It happens every once in a while. Every few years we get something like that. But this is a blue moon because of its occurrence in the calendar month that we use in the Gregorian calendar. So that is what we're actually seeing on Wednesday. This is the view in the constellation Aquarius. If you were wondering, the zodiacal constellation Aquarius will be hosting the moon and Saturn, the planet Saturn. A wonderful pairing to watch. Now, it's also called a supermoon. Astronomers call it a perigee moon. Okay, so that's where the science comes in, right? Of this thing is the supermoon. It's been coined about a decade ago by journalists, and some astronomers are using it. It's okay. I don't mind it being called a supermoon, but astronomers like to use the technical term perigee, which isn't as fun as super, but I'll leave the idea of how super it is to you. But technically, the moon will appear larger, the full moon, in our skies tomorrow, August 30th. When it's in the sky, it'll be slightly larger and slightly brighter. It'll be about 7 to 8% larger, the disk, and it will appear about 15 to 20% brighter than usual full moon that you would see on any old month. Now, why does that happen? That's because the moon actually is, let me just get this here, orbit. We'll see where it is. Just to give you an orbital perspective, the moon, of course, orbits the Earth, right? Now, the moon's orbit happens to be elliptical. It's not a perfect circle. I know it kind of looks like that in this Sky Safari animation, but it's not. It's actually a slightly elliptical in its orbit around the Earth, meaning if you look carefully, it's a little bit closer on this side, can you see that, than this side. So it's like an egg-shaped a bit. So when the moon is closest to the Earth, we call it a perigee moon. When it's on the other side, where you see this distance is farther away from our planet, we call that a moon at apogee. Apogee, easy to remember. A of apogee, it means away. It's a good way to remember what apogee means. Apogee is when the moon is farther away from Earth than when it's at perigee. So on Wednesday, August 30th, the moon will be at perigee, almost a few hours from it being officially the full moon phase, where you see the entire disk of the moon, the full disk of the moon. And so that coinciding factors of the moon at its closest to the point where it's a full moon, we call that a super moon, a super full moon. That's the common moniker used for this. Technically, it's a perigee full moon. And that's where super comes from. It's because you can see here it's closer. In fact, this distance between Earth and the moon that will be tomorrow is about 50,000 kilometers closer than if it was over on this side. This is about 50,000 kilometers shorter, this distance between Earth and the moon, than it would be if it would be at apogee. And that's it. I can see Crystal from Nova Scotia. We have Lajos from Canterbury, Kent. Wonderful for you to join us. Joyce from New Brunswick. Wonderful. Lovely to see everyone. So nice to see everyone chiming in. Hello from Italy from Nicola. Thank you so much for joining. Love to see it. And Serbia, Diana from Serbia is joining us. Wonderful. So this is kind of the setup, what you'll see tomorrow with the moon. And if we go back to what it appears like for us, here we go. We go back magically to the sky. So this is the setup for Wednesday with Saturn next to it. What a great coincidence. It's just a coincidence. Saturn will appear next to the moon, and what a wonderful pair. And they will travel through the entire sky overnight. So if I just go forward in time, this is around 9 o'clock at night, but look, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. See, I'm going to just zoom out. You see, it's dominating the southern skies in the overnight. This is like 11, like I said, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, midnight. You see how high they're traveling in this by due south around midnight. So it's a really beautiful, beautiful sight. Deb from Colorado, great to see you. Sylvia from Lubbock, Texas. And Chris from United Kingdom, and Lubia from Ohio. So wonderful to join me my friends, stargazing friends, thank you for coming by. By the way, if you're getting any value from this video, guys, I'd appreciate it so much if you'd subscribe to my channel, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Just give it a thumbs up and please do subscribe. It means a lot to me. I so appreciate it. It allows me to bring these videos to your home every week. I just love doing it. And of course, lots of stargazing posts on my platforms. On all my channels, I'll be bringing you anything that is of interest. If there's something really particular, you will get notified. And make sure you hit that notification button so you don't miss out on sometimes last minute stuff that just comes across my desk. Go, wow, I gotta share with you. I love sharing these stargazing stuff with you guys. So do hit that notification button too. So super stuff. This is Wednesday. The moon is next to Saturn, but wait, there's more. Let's keep following the moon for the rest of the week. See what happens. It's really, really interesting. So if we go and change the days, let me just get back to a little bit earlier, because I have it like at around 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't like that. I'm just going to go back to say around 10, 11 o'clock, say around 11 o'clock, and I changed the days. So this is Wednesday. Tomorrow, the 30th, full moon. It's the super blue moon. Don't miss out on that. Look by Thursday night. Here is an observing challenge. If you have strong binoculars, like pretty big ones, like maybe well, look at this one. Look, I'll show you. Like these are really cool binoculars. I love them too. They're from Celestron. I love them. These are, let me see, 15 by 70. All right. See, these are larger ones. They're not that heavy, actually. I'm pretty nice. They're rubber coated. You can get other manufacturers, Orion, Skywatcher. I'm sure there's other manufacturers that you can, Bushnell maybe makes them. I don't know. But this is a really good binocular, strong one, a big one like this, or a small telescope would be perfect too, is to catch Neptune. So Neptune is the farthest major planet in their solar system. It's literally on the edge of the solar system. Okay, so that's something not so easy to find. So let me show you. It's going to be easier because of the moon. Now, I know, the moon is near full, it's blindingly, glaringly bright, but you can spot that greenish blue hue, very distinctive of Neptune, because the moon will be parked next to it. I know it's not ideal. A lot of my stargazing friends, astronomers, advanced astronomers, real hardcore ones go, oh man, it's all that glare. Yes, I know, but it doesn't matter. It's just to spot it, just to know where the location of Neptune is. I have those bragging rights of being able to say I've spotted it. And it's probably one of the hardest planets to see because it's faint. It's around magnitude 8 and 9, which puts it at the limit of most binoculars, but well within the range of even small backyard telescopes. And look at how close the two objects are. I mean, this is really going to be, again, this is once it gets completely dark. So I would wait until 10 or 11 o'clock or midnight. Again, this is Thursday night. Okay, late night Thursday, look for the moon, and Neptune will be very, very close to it, right there. And what's amazing is Neptune, see, it's like 7.8 magnitude, so it's actually a little bit better than 8 magnitude, which is really cool, makes it a little bit bright enough for a strong pair of binoculars, no doubt. Look at the distance. The distance is 4.3 billion kilometers, 4,300 million kilometers away. It takes light 240 minutes to reach your eye. That is absolutely insane. That's crazy. What is that? Let me do that quick calculation here. 240 divided by 60. So that's 4 hours, folks. It takes 4 hours for the light to reach your eye from Neptune. That's how far away this planet is. You're looking back in time for 4 hours. It's really incredible. Just to be able to say that, and it'll be just under 4 degrees away from the moon. So the separation between Neptune and the moon on Thursday night will be equal to about 8 disks of the moon. That you could fit between Neptune and the moon. So all you'd need to do is just take your binoculars, look at the moon, and then scan off to the side and look for that greenish blue dot. That's all that's you're going to see. That's right, Deanna. That's what that blue dot was. Awesome. Yeah. So it's really close to the moon Thursday night. Remember, the moon is moving from night to night, right? Just the previous night on Wednesday, the moon will be underneath Saturn, right? Wednesday, it's underneath Saturn. By Thursday, it'll move off and be near Neptune. You're not going to see Neptune with your naked eye. You're going to need to have at least binoculars to have a chance to find Neptune. And just to spot it, it's incredible to see this gigantic planet, ice gas giant sitting there in your field of view. It's incredible. It's a wow factor just to be able to spot it. You're not going to see any details, but just be able to spot it. I think, wow, wow, wow. So do try that on Thursday night. It's an observing challenge, folks. It's a little bit more, difficult, but why not? It's a challenge. Try it. And there'll be others, folks, so don't worry. So all that action is happening underneath the constellation Pisces, the zodiacal constellation, the fishes, right? The fishes. And by the way, an easy part of the fishes constellation that you can see is just going to be above Neptune. Look, I'll just show you very quickly. Since we're there, we're cruising around in this part of the sky, I want you to see that. Do you see this, what's called this? It's called the circlet. The circlet of stars. Look at that. You see it's connected if you look carefully on your screen, I hope you can see that. They're all connected by this red line. This is called the circlet of Pisces. Now, this is what we call an asterism. It's connection of stars that look like a pattern to the human eye. Our brains are wired to see patterns. And this is one of those patterns in the sky. It's readily evident. Now, the stars themselves that make up the circlet are not that bright. Like the brightest one over here is 3.7 magnitude. So that is, you can see it from a suburban sky. But if you look at the fainter one, like maybe the faintest is up here, this one is 5. You would not be able to see this from a suburban sky. So I would say to really see the circlet, get out of the city. If you're in the countryside, you'll be able to see this circlet of stars. It's always there, above in this part of the sky for the next few weeks. You'd see it. It's really incredible because it marks the head of one of the fishes, and it's really this asterism looks like this kind of circlet of stars, a circle of stars. And an asterism, by the way, is another example that's very, very common is, I'm thinking, let me see, I would think the Big Dipper is a really good example of an asterism. So an asterism isn't a constellation. A constellation is also a pattern of stars that we've assigned a mythological figure to. Different cultures have different figures that, a monster, a heroine, a king, queen, whatever. But in terms of an asterism, it's what the human eye can see and puts together a picture, and it could be stars from different constellations that are involved, or a part of a constellation. Like the Big Dipper is 7 stars that looks like a handle and a bowl connected, and it's the back end of the giant bear, Ursa Major, the Big Bear constellation from Greek mythology, right? That's the back end, the bum of it, and a tail. That's what the Big Dipper is. That's all it is. It's just part of a constellation. It's not a constellation. So we call that an asterism. That's the key word. And I'll put this in, let me just put on, what does it spelled like? Asterism, like that. Boom. Okay. So I just put that in there. That is what that circlet is. So let me just go back to that. This is so cool. So there's that circlet. That's what you're seeing, the circlet of stars in Pisces. And so since I was just mentioning that because, we're learning about the sky, and that's where the moon is going to be Thursday night. But now watch happens. So Neptune, moon on Thursday, circlet, fun thing to see. Look where the moon goes now. The moon is still in Pisces, okay, on Friday night. Saturday night, still in Pisces. You see how huge? It's a massive constellation, Pisces. It takes up a big chunk of the sky. People don't realize how big it is. It looks so small on our screens that I'm showing or in your guidebook. Pisces may look small, but it's actually enormous. It's an enormous constellation. Now, there's one more thing above Pisces that you can also see. A preview of autumn constellations in the northern hemisphere. This is a preview because it'll be rising earlier and earlier. This is around 11 p.m. I have it here. But do you see, this is what we call another asterism called the Great Square of Pegasus. So just next to the circlet, this is actually easier, and this is something you can actually see from a typical suburban backyard. If you live in a large city and outskirts, this is something that you can see, this asterism, this great square. It actually represents the chest of Pegasus, the flying horse from Greek mythology. It's the chest of Pegasus, and it's marked by this diamond or square, giant square in the sky made of these 4 stars. It's very evident to the naked eye. This is something that you'll see with the naked eye. You just need a little bit of time and patience when you go out to look at it. And it'll be above the moon on, this is again Saturday night, just above the moon. You'll see this diamond shape hanging in the sky. It's absolutely brilliant, totally worth looking, because there's a lot of stuff that you and I are going to be exploring in the coming weeks and months in this area. I'm going to challenge you to see some really interesting things in this part of the sky. I'll talk more about it. I don't want to give it away, but there's a lot of cool things around Pegasus and this part of the autumn constellations that you can see. Also, if we continue our journey with the moon before we finish our show today, look at this. So Saturday night, that's where the moon is, still in Pisces. And look where it's heading. Now it's Aries, the Ram zodiacal constellation that the moon is in. It's a waning gibbous moon. You see that? Only now, see the smaller and smaller portion of the moon is illuminated, right? So, and that's why we're calling it a waning moon. Waxing is when more and more from night to night you see of the disk. And so we are on Sunday night, and the moon is going to be next to super bright Jupiter. You can't miss this, folks. This one is so easy to see because Jupiter will knock your eyes out. It looks like a brilliant star. You cannot miss it. This is going to be rising in the east late night. So around 10, 11 o'clock, midnight, Sunday. Mark this down on your calendar. This Sunday, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Sunday, September the 3rd. I can't even believe we're already going to be in September. Where is August? I have no idea. Where did it go? It's gone. We're already inside, and I'm talking to you about September. So September 3rd, this Sunday. Okay? So fantastic. I see folks from different parts, even from Bulgaria. We've got people coming in, and we have TG73 from Alabama. Great of you to join. Thank you. I hope you're going to see some of this stuff. It's incredible. Look at that. And guess what? There's another planet, Uranus. The green giant, ice giant also. We were just talking about Neptune. Now the moon is going to be lining up. Look, almost a perfect lineup with Jupiter, moon, Jupiter, and Uranus in the east. Use your binoculars. This is where it comes so handy. Whatever you have handy, dusting away in a closet, and I'm sure you have access to binoculars somewhere. Maybe your friend has one. Get it out and take a look at this. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's a great opportunity for you to find some of these more challenging objects, but they're really not that. As long as you know where to look, you've got it. And look, that's what I'm showing you here. And now I'll give sky charts to all of this, everything that I'm talking about on my timelines. It's something you don't want to miss out. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button. If you find value in my videos, please hit that subscribe button. It means a lot. It allows me to bring these videos into your home every week. I love sharing the night sky with all of you. It's a passion of mine, as you can see. I'm really excited. I never get tired of the night sky, and there's so much to see. And it's easy. It's not hard. just get out and start doing a little bit learning about the night sky. Any clear night that you are, maybe you're walking your dog, maybe you're heading out in the early morning, perhaps there's something to see. And I'd love to hear from you, love to hear about your experience, maybe your photos as well. I'd love to see them. Share them with me on my platform. We're a one big stargazing community from everyone from around the world. We share the same sky. So thanks so much for joining. And by the way, if you're interested in learning more about astronomy, if it's something that really piques your interest, I've got a little guidebook that I've published with National Geographic. It's a cool book because let me see if I can get it here. Where is it? There it is. There we are. It's The Backyard Guide to the Night Sky. It's by National Geographic. It's been out for a few years and it's a bestseller. Thanks to folks like you. Thank you so much for your support with this book. I've packed it with all my tips and tricks that I've garnered from decades of teaching astronomy to people of all ages. I've taught kids in kindergarten all the way to senior citizens, and it's a great hobby to do because you can do it for free. The sky's for free and your eyes are all you need. But if you want a telescope, if you want binoculars, you want to learn how to use them, you want to know how to purchase them, what to look for, this book has a lot of the basics for you, has all the sky constellations and some really easy deep sky objects to do that you can really get into. It's something that I think you'll find really fun and easy to pick up. And this is small enough, this book, that you can travel with as well. So it's available wherever books are sold. I'm also selling them on my website, signed edition copies, personally signed. I will do that and send it out wherever internationally I will ship as well. So please go ahead and check that out on my website, thenightskyguy.com. You'll see links to that book and my other atlas as well. I'll put links in the comments as usual. Whew, a lot of things this week. It's busy. Make sure you watch that blue supermoon. I would love to see some photos. I'll be outside too watching, and maybe I'll do a live if I can and share that with you. I always love to do that when I can. And hopefully we'll all have clear skies this week. So with that, thank you so much for spending a few moments of your time. I hope you stay safe and healthy. And as always, I wish all of you this week clear skies. See you on the next video.